Hi everybody, this is Becky with IDX Broker, and alongside me is Alec.
Good morning, everyone.
And today we're going to be going over mastering the IDX Broker side of the SEO basics with our product. First thing we want to check out is what's going on today in the webinar, and we're going to go over the basic IDX SEO and about taking credit. As you've noticed, your domain name is the first thing that you see, and you'll see up there that it's yours. The subdomain is currently set to .idxbroker.com, and we're going to go over how you can change that and get indexed by the search engines. Next is going to be the dynamic page content, and then creating neighborhood pages to help gain some SEO credit. First, that custom domain. Here you want to go ahead and choose your CNAME. The host is the CNAME that you can choose, which can be anything like search, .yourdomain, real estate, anything that has to do with your niche market. You don't want to use the term MLS unless you have specific permission from your MLS board or boards. It could be anything such as your area. This will help you get the indexable credit from the search engines instead of the .idxbroker.com part. And we get that question a lot, don't we, Alec?
We sure do. Yeah, why is this set to .idxbroker.com? Isn't this my website? And while all of the IDX Broker content is on our servers, you will get full SEO credit and Google will treat it as your website as long as you go ahead and set up that CNAME record. Because what it looks at is the thing right before the .com. If that's at properties.mysouthwestflorida.com, all of the SEO credit, all of the searches will go to the southwestflorida.com.
Exactly. And so when you set that up at your host, this is not something we can do for you. It has to be done at your host, such as GoDaddy, HostGator, so on and so forth. You want to create a CNAME record, choose your host, such as search. You want to point this to subdomains.idxbroker.com. Give it time to propagate, and then you're going to want to set this up in your IDX control panel. And I'm going to show you where you'll want to do that. It's under the round button account, account info, subdomain, domain control, and you'll see this is what it's default to. It'll be part of your domain, .idxbroker.com, and now that you've set up your CNAME record, you want to switch it to custom domain, yes, the term that you chose, search, and it'll now be search.yourdomain.com.
So yeah, just make sure that this matches exactly what you've already set up in the CNAME. It could take up to 24 hours to propagate that CNAME. It all depends on how fast your host is. And then this tells IDX Broker where to put all of its pages and how to label all of those.
Next up is the dynamic page content.
So SEO is really all about unique content. Basically, Google or Bing or Yahoo, they don't want to throw up a dozen sites that are all exactly the same. That's not good for a visitor. That's not good for anybody. So what they're looking for is pages that have unique titles, pages that have unique URLs, and pages that have unique actual content on the page. So one thing you can do is you can actually edit the SEO settings of each of these pages. And we recommend going through all of these, going to Designs Pages, and then going through and selecting all of these SEO settings. So you can see the URL here. You can change the name, the title. It's important to put unique titles in all of these. And then meta tags and keywords. Now, meta tags and keywords aren't what they were in the 90s or the 2000s. They're not as important. But if you have unique descriptions here that can back up the rest of your content in your website, it certainly doesn't hurt. So keywords is just going to be basic search terms you think people might search for on the internet. And then the description is going to be prose, just like a paragraph that talks about this specific page. So almost all of your IDX Broker pages will have something similar to this to give you some access to SEO settings. But then you can dive in even more to get a lot of SEO juice if you go to something like a details page. If you go Designs, Pages, then you scroll down to this details page. If you edit the preferences here, you're given quite a few more options, and these can be significant. So, Becky, you want to explain this?
So here you can actually use the dynamic details URL, the dynamic title text, dynamic meta tags, and keywords. You have SEO tags you can add, and you can add them right here on the right-hand side. And also the tags, which a lot of people will find this helpful. The tags and the way you set up this page is also what gets set up for your Facebook posts. We actually get that call a lot. When you take one of your links to one of your listings and you add it to your Facebook post, what you see laid out here in your, let's say, your title and also your description, it is how it is laid out as the post on Facebook. And so IDX property type for sale in subdivision is what the title on your Facebook post is going to show. Then the description is going to show underneath that. You can add the dynamic tag right here, and these are the ones that are available. And it's going to automatically pull in for each details page, because you can see that each details page is different. Each listing is different, and they're changing every time. Not every listing is the same, obviously. Not every listing belongs in a subdivision. Not every listing is a land listing, and so it doesn't have the same city name. So it just says city name, so it can automatically pull that in for it. So this way it's not standard text.
So Becky, let's go ahead and show people an example of what this looks like on a live page. So just go to Designs, Pages, and then just pull up either a search or a featured page maybe. And we'll give you guys kind of an example of what we're looking at here. So let's go ahead and just do a search and pull up a property. Okay. So here on this page, if you look up in the URL string, that's the URL. And you can see this one is dynamically pulled because it has the MLS listing number, the M13, yada, yada, yada. And then it says the address and the city, the zip code, and the state. Above that, where the cursor is, that is the title.
So see, this is where something like this can be very important. Whoever set up this, or the dynamic tags on this page, could have made a boo-boo. They put in property type for sale in subdivision. This property happens to not be in a subdivision, so it says single family for sale in blank.
So let's go back and let's put something else in there and show how it changes and how it can be more helpful. So we're going to go back to details page. We're going to edit the preferences.
So let's take out subdivision, because that doesn't fit for every listing. So let's say property type in whatever city it may belong in.
And then let's change that in the URL as well. Or just remove it from the URL. There you go.
And save.
So this is one area where you can't go in and just change every single listing in your whole MLS to do different URLs. So we've made it dynamic, so you can set it just in that one place, and every link will automatically have something different.
So now that we've made those changes, it now says property type, single family, for sale in Miami Beach.
So it doesn't just say details page, it doesn't just say single family homes. It gives something that's unique, so when people are doing a Google search or something on Bing, it actually shows up single family for sale in Miami Beach. And so if I'm in Oregon, well, that doesn't do me any good. But if I'm looking for Miami, I might pull that up over something that just says homes for sale, because I have no idea where that is.
Exactly.
One other thing while we're here, though, see this title here above the content that says single family in Miami Beach for $7.5 million? This you also have access to, and this is really good for SEO. Now, this is content on your page, but it's what's called a heading tag, which search engines use a lot just to determine what your content is and how important it is, because this is what we're putting attention to. This is the title on the page, not just in the code. Go Designs, Pages. Then if we scroll down to the Details page, because we're still on the details, we're going to edit the subheader for this one. And this subheader is it's either a category or a page level. So let's try page, yep, page level. So you're going to edit the subheader. Subheaders are any content that you want above the fold or any content you want above the IDX Broker content. So we got here by going designs and pages. These are where all of your IDX Broker pages are and where you control all of the pages that are provided for your account when it's first set up. And then scroll down to details pages, which is a dynamic page that controls all of your properties pages. And then we're going to go over and customize the subheader, which is that content that you can change for each of your details pages. So we're going to edit the subheader. It defaults to global. So a global subheader will be for every page. So if you want every page of your IDX Broker to say, welcome to my realty New York. If you want to contact me, here's my number. You can change that globally here. We're going to do it on a page level because we only want to affect the details pages. And then we're going to scroll down to details. And then here is a WYSIWYG editor, which is a what you see is what you get. So here you can see that we've put IDX prop type in city name for listing price. So when you do the first two curly brackets, which are right next to your P button, it'll pull up a drop down and you can actually select all of the options available. Let's get rid of listing price and throw something else in there. So delete that. We're going to start with the curly brackets and boom, we get this cool list of things. So what do you want? We could throw in maybe state abbreviation and then give it a 4. You can really play around with these a lot because it's really handy to see right up there, front and center, exactly what's available on that page instead of having to scroll down and look at all of the information below. We've set up that script there. Then just, okay, yep, we can go as detailed as we want. And then just select it all and make sure that this is a heading tag. Otherwise, our system won't recognize it and it won't do you any good for SEO either. So just select it all and pull this down and just make sure any of these headings should work, but I like to use the heading 1 tag. Okay, now it'll recognize this tag. It'll automatically convert it in the page and give us what we're looking for. So we can save that and then we can go look at those changes and see what it does for us. There we go. Single family in Miami Beach, Florida for $7.5 million. It's nice. We can even go to the next property and you can just really quickly scroll through these and find a property that fits you instead of having to go all the way down and look at the details of the property. It gives you just, simple. Okay, this is a condo in Bal Harbour. Nice and easy. It's $5.3 million. We showed you how to change the titles, which is really good for when you first do your Google search. We showed you how to change the URLs. And then we also showed you how to change the dynamic content of the page itself by affecting those heading tags. And those are applied to every listing, not just your own listings. So any listing on the MLS, it'll go ahead and pull that dynamic content in for you.
Yep. All right. So next thing we want to briefly touch upon is sitemaps. Our system does offer up 2 different versions, the HTML and XML versions of the sitemaps. They can be found under the round button designs and then pages down towards the bottom, sitemap, XML sitemap. The XML sitemap we offer gives you the opportunity to submit it to an outside source such as your Google Webmaster Tools account. It helps get your pages indexed for the search engine. Elaboration for that?
So yeah, a sitemap is just, what it sounds like. It's a map of your site. So it starts with your home, and then from home it might say you can click down to an About Us, and from About Us it can go down to individual roster pages or something like that. And if you submit the XML sitemap, it just tells Google all of the pages on your site and how to get to them. So that it's quick and easy. You will submit it just once so that it can go through all of those and find them and put them available for a search. Subdivisions are an advanced field, and while playing around with these dynamic tags, I found 1 or 2 MLSs that they work in, but more often than not, you will just be using the ones that show up automatically in that. So you'll have city, state, zip code, usually property type, things like that. In an advanced search, which we're about to get to, you can use subdivisions as search criteria. And those are really helpful to do a saved link or a community or neighborhood page. It's really where you're going to use those subdivisions. Because I've only found a couple of different areas where you can use the dynamic subdivision in the URL or in the title text.
Okay, so one of the last things we want to go over, and also one of the more important ones, is creating community pages. Having internal content and custom content on your website always boosts SEO, including IDX content. Community pages also helps your visitors because they may be looking for homes in specific areas. And having these one-click results pages can really draw them to your website. These can be created under the round button preferences, saved links, create. A lot of times we direct clients to use the advanced search page just because it gives you more options to refine your search. Next step, select your criteria. Let's say I want to do single family homes in Miami-Dade County in a price range of $250,000 to $800,000. Is 2-story. I can check beforehand if I have any results. I have 162 results, so that's pretty awesome. So next thing I want to do is next step. Now I want to give my page a title. So I can do Miami-Dade County Homes. These are my SEO settings, so I can give it a description. Or I could do Miami-Dade County, Florida Homes for Sale. I could give it some keywords, so on and so forth. You kind of get where I'm going here. Link settings, link description. Can usually get by with using the same kind of description, but you always want to elaborate. The more the better. Subheader. Here's a good one. Custom content is always really good to have. The subheader content is always a good one to have. So I've seen a lot of ones where they actually will put community information in there. Some as elaborate as they'll put in local events that go on, the local demographics, and they can start it out as, you know, luxury homes in Miami-Dade County, Florida, and go on about, you know, Miami-Dade County has a population of this amount, so on and so forth, using key terms that the search engines can pick up on, such as your niche market, stuff about the homes, maybe some internal links linking to other pages throughout your website can also help, maybe to another community page about somewhere that is in relation to Miami-Dade County or to another part of Florida that is in relation to your website. Those always help as well.
This is also a really great part, and you can put links to images or even videos here. So if you maybe did a really great video, or there was something on the news you have permission to use that really talks about this community, you can go ahead and put the embed code from YouTube in here. And so when people hit this page, they'll see this video, welcome to this community, it's so great. And then right below it will be all of those properties that are for sale right there.
So let's go ahead and save and manage our link, and we'll go ahead and preview it. So your subheader information shows up at the top with your results showing right below. So it's a nice clean look with local information for your visitors, and right below that, the homes that they can check out.
Oh, one other thing to be aware of. When a property comes on the market, it does get its own page within IDX Broker. So this Southwest 6C place in Miami has its own details page. However, unless it's hooked into another page, Google can't find it. You can have these thousands and thousands of detail pages, but you really need a neighborhood page or some sort of saved link or something to hook it to, so that Google can find this page and then index it and then give you credit for it, so that when people are searching, they can find it. So that's another really important thing about making these pages and getting them out there, is so that it has these details pages have something to hook onto. The domain that gets the SEO juice is the one that comes right before .com. So if you see our link up here, it is supportwp.idxbroker.com/. In this case, idxbroker.com gets the SEO juice. But if you set up the CNAME record for search.yourwebsite.com, your website will get the SEO from that. Yes, if you create a subdivision, then the listings will automatically, as soon as they come on, if they fit that criteria, they'll be attached and be able to be searched by Google.
So this community link that I just created, any listing now that fits my criteria for the county of Miami-Dade in the price range of $250,000 to $800,000, that is 2-story, will now show up on this link.
And then when you do a Google search somewhere, and it'll be there as well.
Yep. And thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thanks all. Have a great rest of your week.